Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. I am the Crypto Crow, and today I'm going to do basically a video about mindset. Now, some of you guys are going to think, okay, we're not talking about a particular crypto project, so I'm going to tune out. I beg you not to. I've been sitting around a lot lately thinking about the investments that I've been making over the past several years, basically since 2017 when I first got into this. And I've been realizing that I have naturally adopted a mindset that I anticipate will continue paying me dividends for years and years to come. And I inadvertently jumped a hurdle in my life and in my thought process in order to be here, in order to do the things that I do. Now, I've always been one to have kind of an entrepreneurial bug. I've learned a great many things through trial and error. My libraries and my books were my education. I grew up poor. I grew up without anything. I grew up, in Section 8 housing. Okay. I grew up in not so great areas of like Canton, Ohio, and just different things like that. I was definitely not raised with a silver spoon or even an education that would inspire the way I'm able to live today. And I wanted to share this message with you because I'm assuming that there are many of you out there who don't understand investing. And I really wanted to make this heartfelt recommendation to you. Hopefully you pass this video on and you share it with people that just aren't there yet. Because I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about how I'm averaging in, right? I'm averaging in resources, funds that I have into positions that I believe will create a yield for me, a substantial yield over the next 4 or 5 years. Maybe it doesn't take that long, but that's the way I'm planning it out. And as I'm planning this and I'm thinking about this further, I'm thinking, what about the people out there who are working check to check? The people out there that feel that maybe they don't have or they don't make enough money to invest to generate enough of a return that makes it worthwhile for them to live in the current day with less. And if that's not clear, I mean, let's say I made $1,000 a week or $500 a week. My bills are, let's say I make $4,000 a week or $4,000 a month. Sorry. $4,000 a month, and my bills are $2,000 a month or more. And by the end of the month, I'm left with maybe $500 of expendable cash for entertainment, nights out, whatever that may be. How do I justify putting a portion of that money away for something that I'm hoping will pay off years from now, right? How do I wrap my head around that? And that's a really big question, because without the belief or without the experience that empowers you to make those decisions for your future over that new Xbox or those new shoes or whatever it may be that makes you feel good today, constantly keeping you in a cycle of working for what you have instead of allowing what you have worked for to work for you, is a very big dilemma in the minds of many that have not been raised with that sort of education at the root of their upbringing, such as wealthy people who are born into wealthy families who basically teach this to their children very, very early on. They teach investing, they teach investments, dividends and stocks and so forth. And one of the big reasons that I got so big into crypto in 2017, as I was experimenting with investing in dividend stocks because of my late uncle who, taught me all these things, which I've discussed on this channel many, many times, who his son, Alex, is always in my live chats and so forth. He's big in Cardano now. He's super excited about it. And it thrills me to know that I'm able to take something that my uncle gave to me, which was knowledge over a campfire, the last time I ever saw him, and use that to grow something that I never would have ever otherwise thought possible. And not only that, but use those experiences that I've been able to accumulate over the last many years since 2017 to not only help you guys that watch me on my channel religiously, even against the algorithmic bourgeois that I experience on a regular basis, but help my cousins, his children, pays me dividends, okay? Just emotionally, just on every conceivable level, it makes me proud. It drives me to do videos, even like this one. So the point that I'm making here ultimately, and this isn't going to be a long lecture, but if you are able to train your mind to look into the future more than worry necessarily about just today, you will inevitably benefit yourself and your family and the way you live moving forward more and more, because it's not just about that extra $100 you're able to invest in a project such as Bitcoin or Ethereum or Cardano, right? It's not about the immediate returns. It's about establishing that investment mindset and seeing the fruits of that labor. So if you're working a 9-to-5 job and you're working on a W-2 paycheck every week, and you're just able to take a portion of that and invest it in something and forget about it. I don't care what the price is today. I don't care what the price action is from here or there. I care very much about you establishing this mental note, this mental mindset, this new habit of putting a little bit aside. Putting a little bit aside and planning for your future. Because what will happen is, let's say over the course of, right now we're 9/26/2022, okay? And you start putting a little bit away. Maybe you get a Coinbase account on your phone or your computer, or a Kraken account or something, right? A fiat on-ramp that allows you to maybe take your credit card or your bank and just automatically deposit $100 a week or $100 a month or whatever you can afford, okay? So that you're basically taking a chunk of what you're already earning and you're making it work for you, okay? And you are to accumulate a particular asset that you choose. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not here to tell you what to buy. I only share what I get into, what I appreciate through my research, right? Do your own research always. Get passionate about projects that drive you and inspire you, what makes you feel something, okay, for whatever reason, whether it's a gaming token or a layer 1 blockchain or whatever. And you don't have to dive deep into everything, okay? You don't really have to spend as much time as some of us content creators do, but get a good idea as to something that you can really invest in. You never invest more than you can afford to lose, because you never know what's going to happen, especially in the crazy climate of economics and industry and everything else going on right now. This new fourth industrial revolution that we're being ushered into, which is honestly, I believe, going to help us in a lot of ways in the crypto space, as well as have some interesting projects, we'll just say that are able to, kind of keep track of things. But ultimately, once you've been able to accumulate a decent investment, by decent, that's relative, decent for you, a sum that you never would have thought you would ultimately be able to invest or part with from your day-to-day living, enjoyment, whatever it is. Maybe you skipped a few movies, or you skipped a new pair of kicks, like whatever it is, but you started investing. And let's say after the next year or two, you've accumulated $4,000 or $5,000 in there, okay? Let's say by 2024, you've got $4,000 or $5,000 in a Coinbase account that you've basically been accumulating. Maybe it's something like Cardano, just hypothetically speaking, and you're generating a passive yield the entire time through staking it, right? You're staking that to a node. And then maybe the Bitcoin halving happens around April of 2024. And we start seeing an uptrend in the market. And that $5,000, whether it dipped below 5 grand or what, you watched it go up and down and you're freaking out, but you're not freaking out. You're not worried about it. You're building this mindset. This isn't about tomorrow. This is about next year. This is about 2 years from now, 4 years from now. That's the mindset that you really have to have. And this is also why we say don't invest more than you can afford to lose, because if you do that when the markets dip, as they always do, I can't tell you how many times I've watched Cardano go from 52 cents to 42 cents. Okay. It is what it is. I don't freak out. I don't sell. I don't try to trade it, because that's where you make mistakes. I've invested what I can afford to lose. I'm not worried about it. I'm holding long term. I got into my position knowing I'm holding it long term. Okay. That's the mentality that I need to have, because if I try to trade it and I try to trade these 50 to 40 cents and back and forth in this ping pong action as we go sideways or even in a downtrend, I'm going to make emotional mistakes, and I'm going to try and time things. I'm going to time things improperly, and it's just going to end up in losses and ultimately revolving losses, because then I'm going to try and make up for it. That's a mindset you don't want to have, because you're not a trader. I'm kind of a trader, but not really. And what I do trade, I don't share much on my channel, because I'm not trying to inspire people to do that. Okay. Now, once we start heading into the direction where the markets are starting to trend upward instead of downward, then the money that you've been able to part with over the last couple of years, you're going to start seeing go up in value. And the first time you really start to see that value rise, and you start to see, this is what they mean by my money working for me instead of me working for my money. It's going to be that moment when you start to see what you put in being worth more than what you put in, that you start to appreciate the value of investing, and why so many millionaires, billionaires, your neighbor with the boat, all of these people are always talking about economics, politics, the financial institutions, what's going on in the world, because all of these things play a factor in your potential yield over time. What's going to happen in the market today? And this is where you start to really adopt an investor's mindset, where you're more interested in the world around you and what that means for your investments over time. And this, I believe, is a great big part of maturity as we go from girls and boys to men and women, right? There's a saying in the movie The Crow, childhood ends the moment we know we're going to die, right? And in a sense, it's a similar kind of thing. It's like childhood ends when you start making responsible decisions that actually benefit yourself and your family above and beyond just working that grind. And so I really would love to inspire people as an exercise even. Now, I believe wholeheartedly that we're due for another big leg down in the market, probably this week, if not maybe by the weekend. And I think we're going to start moving down even further. And if you start to average into a position, if you're putting in $100 a week or $100 a month or whatever it is you can afford to invest, and you see that dip and you see it rise back up and we go down further, it doesn't really matter, because if my first investment was $100 and maybe that drops down to $50 in value, well, I'm averaging in. So ultimately I'm closing the gap between my initial buy-in, my current buy-in, as I'm accumulating during a downtrend. Now, I'm not saying that's a wise strategy. I'm just saying ultimately that's what I'm doing, because I'm not worried about it. I'm more focused on the value potential by 2024, 25, and 26 than I am what's going to happen in the market today or tomorrow or next week. So by me averaging down and ultimately lowering my initial entry point, I'm fine with that. So I really want to inspire people to branch out and get into something that you may not otherwise be used to thinking about on a daily basis. And that's ultimately it. I just wanted to send this message to everybody, because I believe that the way the world is reforming and changing right now, it's ultimately going to be an investment mindset that ultimately helps you get out of where you're at and into a new position in life. And I really want you to be able to enjoy that position in life the way I have, the way my family has, the way other people that I've inspired to get involved in making investments and educating themselves on whether it's the traditional stock market or the crypto market. We're in a bear market. The markets are coming down significantly. We all see it. We all know it's happening. Recession or not, it's an opportunity to get into this while the getting is good. And I want everybody to enjoy that. So until next time, Crow Your Coins, post your questions below in the comments, and I'll be sure to check them all out and answer them all as best I can. Crow Your Coins, and I'll see you again soon.